This broadcast is presented by Currency. For more details, visit gocurrency.com. By Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. By Ashley Furniture. Visit your local Ashley store or ashley.com. And by Tom Dinsdale Automotive. Find us on the web at dinsdaleauto.com.
We're getting ready for the boys' game now. Michael Shively, Doug Duda courtside here at Kearney High School. The Bearcats hosting the #1 team in the state, Bellevue West. An exciting matchup. We get to see the one-loss Thunderbirds come to town. This has been one of the two teams to beat for the last half-decade plus. It's been Bellevue West and Millard North going at it. Right now, the Thunderbirds are reigning champs and #1 in the state again, even though there's a new guy in charge of the team.
Yeah, they sure haven't missed much of a step here with a new head coach after Doug Woodard retired as one of the winningest coaches in Nebraska history in the Hall of Famer. And they've got talent up and down all across the board. No one was quite sure who was #1, but with their play so far this season, the way they did things in the Metro tournament, they're right there. They're going to be playing deep into the state basketball tournament.
Kearney is not a team you can overlook. That's someone that could knock off a #1 because this is one of the best shooting teams in the state, and they love to play here at home.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. This place will be rocking. This is why nobody in the Metro wants to play in Kearney, no matter what the sport is, because it's as good a home court advantage. Now, West has a great place there in the cage. There's no doubt about it. But Kearney, they've got 3 guys that are averaging over 15 points a ball game. They've got to keep West off the boards because West can jump out of the gym.
We mentioned their shooting. One of the best shooters in the state is Jacob Weber. He's a transfer from Arizona and a sophomore who's been lighting it up, especially of late.
Yeah, he's got to be consistent. He was not so consistent in the first month, kind of getting settled in here to Kearney. But him and Ben Johnson right there at 18, 19 points a game. And he's hit 9 3-pointers in a game already twice this season.
Bellevue West, the best team in the state in the rankings. They might have the best player. Jaden Jackson is phenomenal.
Yeah, when you're the best player on the best team in the state, what does that say? I mean, it just says it's going to take a couple guys to guard him. Watch the defense. Kearney always has a couple of guys that aren't afraid to take on a challenge like that, but it's going to be a big challenge tonight.
We're going to see some points today. That's one thing you can count on. We don't know what else is in store. We hope you stick around and find out. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. By Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Get low 1.9% APR financing on 8 remaining new 2023 Acadias. Plus, make no monthly payments for 90 days. We are professional grade at Central Nebraska's premier GM dealer. Midway Chevrolet Buick GMC in Kearney or thinkmidway.com/GM.
Hey there, sports fans. Looking for a winning play to make your game day complete? Look no further than Speedy Mart, your family-owned neighborhood convenience store. Score big with the wide range of snacks, drinks, and fuel for the road that will keep the whole crew cheering. And here's the kicker. Our friendly atmosphere and convenient location make every visit a slam dunk. So rally the family and head to Speedy Mart for the ultimate game day experience.
Building up towards tip-off here on NCN. Michael Shifley, Doug Duda with you. Danny Alvarado, our director. Bellevue West, Kearney High. Exciting boys hoops on the way. Let's check out how these teams got here. Your school spotlight brought to you by Currency. Do you need financing for RVs, ATVs, or other expensive items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com today. There's the Bearcats and their enrollment. Slightly more boys than girls here in this Class A school. Second furthest west in Class A. Bellevue West, just south of Omaha. Actually, just slightly fewer students than Kearney High, but per capita basketball players at Bellevue West is high.
Yeah, there's a big difference, obviously, between Bellevue West and Bellevue East when it comes to basketball and where the kids go.
Right.
And that's the haves and have-nots in the metro, but different schools have different big-time sports. And Bellevue West has been incredible in football and boys basketball and a lot of the boys sports here recently. But there will be no Chucky Hepburn running up and down the floor here this afternoon.
Chucky going to be back at Nebraska here coming up next week in Wisconsin uniform. Some of these T-Birds, they have some college athletics in their future. We're excited to see Isaiah McMorris. He will come off the bench for Bellevue West. He's a future Cornhusker wide receiver. Isaiah McMorris, a 6-foot senior, just over 7 per game. We'll step aside, getting ready for tip-off here. Up next, your starting lineups and the beginning of the T-Birds against the Bearcats.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
At Zollner Ford, come and see our great selection of new Ford vehicles. Whether you're looking to buy new or you need a car serviced, it's our pleasure to assist you. Our online website makes shopping even easier. Browse our massive inventory of vehicles or schedule your next maintenance appointment. We even offer drop-off and pickup services. Stop by today or visit us online at zollnerofbeatrice.com.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com and by News Channel Nebraska. Follow us on Twitter at NCN Sports for more highlights, interviews, rankings, and our full schedule.
Bellevue West 14-1, Kearney High 10-3. And we're nearing the start of this game. The national anthem about to be played by the band, so we'll step aside and have starting lineups next.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams. Financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you.
Ready for the starting lineups here in Kearney. The Bellevue West Thunderbirds, led by first-year head coach Steve Klein. Steven Polacek, a 6'1" senior. Eldon Turner, a 6-foot senior. Jaden Jackson, a 6'1" senior. Jaden Cascio Jensen, a 6'4" senior. Robbie Garcia, a 6'6" junior. They bring a couple of big names off the bench as well. We expect to see Jacob Arope and Isaiah McMorris get significant minutes as well. Kearney High, they're about to get fired up here. Their home crowd for the Bearcats, led by Drake Baranek, Central Nebraska native, former UNK and Nebraska star. He has an experienced lineup he brings to the court, led by point guard Carter Lee, a 5'11" senior. Colt Straka starts, a 6'2" senior. Jacob Weber, a 6'5" sophomore. Asher Endorf, a 6'6" senior. Ben Johnson, a stat-stuffing machine, a 6'5" junior, rounds out the starting lineup. Ben Johnson, a guy that folks in Kearney have known about for a while. He's a junior, got into the starting lineup as a sophomore. Doug, how have you seen him mature as a basketball player and become the dominant force he is, averaging 19 points and 9 boards per game?
Yeah, played a lot as a freshman as well, as like you said, then became a full-time starter. He matured. His body's filled out. His frame has gotten bigger, tougher, stronger. And he's learned how to do more than just get a three and do better on the boards, because he wasn't built to take on some of the big boys, seniors, his first 2 years. Now he handles that a lot better. And for the most part is staying out of foul trouble, which is going to be key tonight. I think there's going to be some guys that you can give some fouls, but Bellevue West, I said they could jump out of the gym. They are not the biggest basketball team in the state. They're a guard-oriented ball club.
Bellevue West and Steve Klein, they like to get up and down the court. Kearney High likes to do that as well. When I was talking to Coach Klein before this game, he said, we know Kearney wants to get fast pace on offense. We don't know if they want to do that on defense. He thinks they'll still have an advantage with tempo on the T-Bird side.
Well, there's one thing, and you will see it on camera, you will hear it tonight. Drake Baranek's team never want to be out-hustled. They want to go for every ball, no matter where it's at. Bellevue West will play that kind of basketball as well, but at home especially, Coach Baranek will be upset if his teams aren't winning the loose basketballs.
These teams score the basketball. Kearney averages 71 points per game. Bellevue West averages 77 points per game. We expect this to be high scoring here this evening.
Last time a top 5 team came in, Omaha West side, they jumped on Kearney 20-5. I'm sure that's fresh in their memories as Kearney will win the tip. And again, kind of like the girls, Kearney's got all these wins, but they're not against rated opponents. Where Bellevue West, maybe the boys haven't played as tough a competition as their girls did, but they're taking care of them.
Ben Johnson wants to get started with the 3. He misses it. And the rebound to the Thunderbirds. That is Stephen Polacek bringing the basketball up the court, and their top scorer with it now, Jaden Jackson. Sizes up Carter Lee, spins past him, gliding to the rack for a beautiful deuce to open up the scoring.
Athleticism, athleticism, athleticism. It's not that Kearney doesn't have it. It's just that Bellevue West probably up and down the line has more.
Jackson's such a gifted scorer and so fluid with his dribble drive.
You can hear Coach Klein really imploring his defense here in the first minute of the ball game as they play right in front of his bench.
There's Jacob Weber. He's the star sophomore, transfer in. His family moved from Arizona. Missed the 2-point shot, but Asher Endorf able to sky for the rebound and draw the foul here in your first quarter, which is brought to you by John Henry's, our family serving yours.
Foul on Cassia Jensen, the first one of the ball game. Kearney not afraid to chuck a 3 on an inbounds either. But they like that play better.
The lay-in for Johnson. So critical to get him going early. A good win last night for Kearney over North Star. They never trailed, but Johnson held to 9 points, the first time he hasn't scored in double figures this year.
Well, great job coming off a double screen there. Robbie Garcia got deep on the post, had an easy layup.
2 buckets right at the hoop for the T-Birds to open up the game. Here's Endorf after getting the offensive rebound. Can't finish at the rack. Way deep. Jackson. Holy cow. Jaden Jackson. My goodness. What a start for him and the T-Birds.
Got to live with that. I mean,
yeah.
The odds still, they look pretty even when the best shoot them, but you got to live with that. If they shoot 10 or 12 of those and they make half of them, you just got to say, great job. You got to expect that they won't, though.
He shot that from Drake Baranik's lap. Johnson sizing up the defense. Has to kick it out to Lee for 3, and he's short. Carter Lee, one of the best passers in the state, nearly 6 assists per game. Not a huge scorer, just under 6 points per game. 3 ball up, that's Robbie Garcia, and it goes down. A terrific start for Bellevue West. No weary legs from the bus trip. And a timeout for Drake Baranik and Kearney High. We'll step aside with them. A 10-2 advantage for Bell West on the Midway CDJ scoreboard.
Other companies have the revolving door. Every time we come into Schaefer's, it's always the same people. And the big thing to me is they know you by name. They know who you are, which makes a person like myself feel just warm and welcome here. And that's what's great about Schaefer's.
Schaefer's has the essential Whirlpool appliances you need, from refrigerators and air fry ranges to laundry pairs to keep your clothes clean and sanitized at everyday low prices. At Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances.
Bellevue West starting hot. Jaden Jackson filling it up from NBA range, and the T-Birds have blitzed the Bearcats. Number 1 on the road, not bothered early.
And Jacob Arap has already checked in here, a big body to try and stop that penetration. Kearney's tried a couple of times in the paint. We talked about it in the girls' game. We touched on it in the pregame. Kearney needing to survive the first quarter. They're not really doing anything wrong as Johnson gets it in. But Bellevue hitting their buckets, and Kearney missed a couple of threes, and quickly it got to 8.
Ben Johnson with all 4 for the Bearcats. They've given up 10 in the first 3 minutes. Here's a rope at the hoop. Oh, flips it in with the right hand, and Jacob Arope, a force off of the bench, keeps the scoring going for Bellevue West. So I believe they've scored every trip down the court.
It's good efficiency, isn't it, Michael?
Some would say perfect. Weber trying to create off of the dribble. Pulls up. Tough shot. falls in over the top of the rim.
Going to have to hit those shots. You're going to have to hit contested shots if you're Kearney in this ball game to hang around.
No look pass. Rope misses. Eldon Turner with a beautiful feed and a Rope 0 for 2. Right at the hoop. With the basketball, Colt Straka in the corner.
Rim did not treat him fairly there. He got a nice offensive board.
Johnson trying to respond to Jaden Jackson's long-range triple. Fast break opportunity. There's Jackson. Gets past 2 defenders around the screen. Does not fall. And last touch by Bellevue West. Kearney High with a couple of stops in a row.
Thunderbirds will bring a couple of their starters back in the ball game, but boy, so far, real fluid for the T-Birds out there, what they're doing offensively. That was actually kind of the first, what you would say, quote, forced shot in traffic so far in the ball game.
Weber brings it up the court. It's a three-headed monster in terms of scoring for the Bearcats. Look for Weber, Asher Endorf, and Ben Johnson to do the bulk of it. Another high degree of difficulty shot for Weber, this time from the left side, and this time it doesn't go. Kick out for Cassio Jensen. Off the mark.
All Bearcats underneath. Didn't even give West really time to get down the floor and get set for the first time.
Bearcats slowing down the tempo after a fast-paced first 3 minutes. Nearly a steal. Quick hands of Isaiah McMorris. And Arope called for the foul. Jacob Arope called for his first. Today's broadcast brought to you in part by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com.
Kearney looking for their first ever win over the #1 team in the state in Class A. They did beat Creighton Prep, who a couple of places at #1, but were mostly #2 when they played them back in the old barn. One of the last games that his father got to see him coach to start the season.
Carter Lee, that's a mismatch you'd think against a rope. Can't get past the wide-bodied future college football player.
Of course, more on Paul Baranek from his son, who they honored earlier this month, coming up at halftime.
Asher Endorf again gets fouled. He'll head to the line for a pair. It's on McMorris. And Paul Baranek, the late, great, longtime Ravenna boys basketball coach, coached his 3 boys, was honored with a Legacy Award earlier this month, and News Channel Nebraska was there. We'll have some footage at halftime.
Again, we mentioned in the girls' game, but one of the great sporting events of my lifetime and in Nebraska high school history, when Bellevue West said, yep, we'll play you, Ravenna, and jammed that gym back in 2006 when Drake Baranek and his teammates were seniors. Jumped out to a 17-6 lead in that game. I think maybe we're up 17, but the boys from West came back and won that ball game, and one of the greatest atmospheres I've ever been around at a high school event.
Class C hanging with one of the best in Class A. Now it's Kearney High against Bellevue West. It's tightened up after a 10-2 start for Bellevue West. Polacek can't hit the runner. Carter Lee wraps around the bounce pass. Endorf is wide open. Asher Endorf lays it through, and the Bearcats have scored 6 straight. Loose basketball and a foul. It's on Weber. He's not contesting it. Called for the reach-in.
Well, after you kind of mentioned West hadn't missed a single trip down the floor, now they've been stuck on 12 here for a couple of minutes.
And my apologies to Coach Klein for jinxing the team. See what he has out of the inbounds play. Polacek from deep. Short. And Endorf skies for the board. Risky pass. McMorris nearly got that one.
Well, exciting when you hit a couple of deep threes, then you miss 3 in a row, and all of a sudden you're stagnant on offense. It usually works itself out. It may take a whole game to work itself out, but it has already here in the first 6 minutes for the Thunderbirds.
All 5 starters back out there after a brief appearance for Ian Piper for Kearney High. Starting lineup on the court for the T-Birds as well. Lead blanketed by Eldon Turner. Backdoor Johnson, the reverse lay-in. We're tied at 12. An 8-0 run. Student section starting to get in it. Robbie Garcia misses, but out of bounds off of the Bearcats. The T-Birds get another look.
Jacob Weber left his feet trying to get the rebound because there's been contact in there almost every rebound attempt, and so he was expecting that contact. Oh, there is a foul. Did we get a foul called, or was that on the last trip down the floor, maybe? Just to confirm who it was on.
Drake Baranek in a defensive stance of his own, trying to inject some energy against the top-rated T-Birds. Jackson comes up empty. Chance for the Bearcats to take the lead after they trailed 10-2. Johnson, way off. Now a 3-ball for Turner. He can't hit the transition jumper.
This Kearney crowd just waiting to erupt, had a 3 like that went down and kept this 8-0 run going. And Bellevue West going to have to get back to what got him going, a good set play. Maybe get the ball inside for a sure 2. Or at least a good look at a 2.
Backdoor cuts, yielding opportunities for Kearney High here in the opening quarter.
That's
shot clock running low here, just 5 seconds to work with for Johnson. Now Endorf, short. Might have cleared some space with an elbow. And for the first time, we've seen the T-Birds take it slow. Terrific first quarter, tied at 12. Here's Turner, pulls up. No. And it winds up right into the arms of Robbie Garcia. Garcia puts it through to make it 14-12 Bellevue West after 1 quarter. You're watching exciting high school hoops here on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil, your first and last stop to and from the game. By USafe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer. NCN Sports is brought to you by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com. And by News Channel Nebraska. Follow us on Twitter at NCN Sports for more highlights, interviews, rankings, and our full schedule.
Well, Kearney High in position here off the missed shot, but not able to get it as it bounced off Weber, and a quick reaction by Robbie Garcia to finally break that drought and give Bellevue West the lead here going into the second quarter. But Kearney survived, air quotes, the first quarter.
3-ball up and down for Steven Polacek. So within a 15-second span, end the quarter, start the new quarter. Quick 5-0 run for Bellevue West. Johnson kicks out to Colt Straka, rattles out. And if you get a close game, it's those end-of-quarter moments that really hurt, and they can carry momentum over into the next quarter. And Jacob Arope, good head fake to get the defense in the air and finish.
And that's what number 1 teams do. 1 minute, less than a minute. 7-banger after you couldn't score for 4 minutes. And it's a 7-point lead. Jumped out 10-2, so that 8-point, 12-4, 8-point lead, their biggest.
Weber, contested 3, drains it. One of the best in the state, shooting the 3-ball, his 54th of the season, shooting an incredible 46%. Oh, well, look at that first step. Stephen Polacek exploding to the rack.
He's up to a good start here in this basketball game, but against those, I guess, everybody for Bell West. Nice start, 21-15. Spreading it around, using the balance like their girls did in their win earlier this afternoon against Kearney High.
Weber wants 3 more.
Nope.
Didn't quite have the right line with a rope in his face. Look at the wheels. Oh, nobody getting in front of Eldon Turner. Now the Bearcats working it up the court and wanting timeout. Drake Beranek doesn't like the start of the second quarter because it's a 9-3 spurt in favor of Bellevue West on NCN.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Balanced scoring effort for Bellevue West. They have 5 players in the scorebook, and a hot start to the second quarter led to the second timeout called already for Kearney High and head coach Drake Beranek.
Well, can they do the same thing they did after the first timeout? Erase that 8-point deficit.
They want the ball in the hands of their star junior Ben Johnson. Finds Weber, who's smoked at the hoop. That's foul number 2 on Jacob Arope.
Michael, we got some conference play going on across the state today, and those Creek Cardinals are amazing. They beat Adams Central in the Central Conference tournament today by a score of 73-32 to stay on top of things.
And Cardinals, led by Coach Tony Siski, as good as he gets in Class B this year. 2-time state champion head coach, trying to get a state title there in Class B.
And Ogallala wins the Southwest Conference over Cozad, 62-52.
The Indians have been among the best in the state in C1 quite a while now. Weber gets one of the free throws. He's a 91% foul shooter. Arope, terrific low post position, can't flip it in over his head. He had Johnson pinned against the baseline.
Yeah, great play by Rope, and just a couple that won't drop for him. Stay with that position, though. You'll be okay.
Against 2 defenders, Jacob Weber. This dude can just score. Passed up the 3, did Garcia. Instead finds McMorris, and the future Husker football player shows what he can do on the hard court.
That's college ball right there, Michael. You went into the paint, drew the double team, kicked it back out, made the extra pass.
They're lighting it up in Kearney. Ben Johnson with the response. We promised you offense. These teams delivering in quarter number 2.
Johnson, you keep a Rope out of the paint, you're going to be okay. I mean, he's not going to be much of a shooter outside of the paint.
Lee playing defense against the driving Jaden Jackson and called for the foul.
Don't want to leave the ladies out. Adams Central repeats as the Central Conference girls champion as they edge Seward by a score of 44-40. And we had Gothenburg is playing Minden in the girls championship of the Southwest Conference tournament. Broken Bow beat Ainsworth in the consolation. We'll try to get you an update on that one as well.
Today's broadcast brought to you in part by O Street Carpet, supported by Steve Carper and the crew.
Minden is up 2 early in the second quarter.
Jackson makes them both. Bellevue West, a team that won its conference tournament earlier this year. That's a late December, early January affair. The Metro Conference, often a preview of what you'll see in the Class A state tournament. Bellevue West defeated Omaha Central in the title game by 18 points.
They scored 73 or more in all 4 conference tournament games. Pretty impressive.
Is nuts. Endorf muscling into the paint. Finishes over the top of Cassio Jensen.
Good defense, just got posted up too far down there, and a tough shot. Now reach-in foul on Colt Straka. Boy, Bellevue West doing a good job with a couple of their guards just running 100-yard dashes down the middle of the field.
We got lots to show you at halftime during our halftime highlights, which are presented by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman will help make your jewelry dreams come true. Now, after made shots, it takes them 2 seconds. Right back into offense the other way. Garcia sizes up Johnson, sees some daylight and converts.
Beautiful turnaround by Garcia. Gives you some leverage when those 3-pointers are being put up.
He has 7, so does Jackson. They're the top scorers for the T-Birds. Weber, the reversal, no. Puts it back up, and it rattles in.
I mean, you love the back cut, but when you back cut and you still don't have a shot, that's pretty good defense, and Weber stuck with it and got his own putback. So many shooters on this Thunderbirds team. Try to get them all involved.
McMorris in the paint, no. Gets his own rebound and a push called against the Bearcats. Kearney High wanted a tie-up. It's a foul on Carter Lee. That's number 2 on the point guard for KHS.
Another one of those offensive rebounds we talked about Bellevue West being so good at, despite not being all of a tall team.
Team that averages 35 rebounds per game. By comparison, Kearney at 30 shows you how terrific the T-Birds are on the glass. Anytime you get a stop, if you're the Bearcats, oh, you feel real good about it.
What a move by Johnson. So he equals what Garcia did earlier. Great crossover, and they got out of his way.
Guy with that size, able to move that quickly, laterally. And now Colt Straka with the block.
Turner took a chance there. He hadn't shot in a while.
Heat check 3-ball.
Kearney just can't get that crowd exploding. Bellevue West timeout calling 3 to fall.
Wide open look for Polacek. Doesn't hit. Johnson scraps for the rebound. Chance to tie with a 3-ball. That might be what Johnson was looking for with that pull-up.
Well, Kearney needs a little bit of a breather here. They're probably not going to go as deep. We've already seen that. Try to win with 5 or 6.
Lee, the senior, comes up empty.
They're good looks. But Bellevue West, it's one and done now quite a bit of the time.
The T-Birds led this game 10-2. They have never trailed. One block, but then the and one. Garcia blocked the first time, stays with it, has a chance for 3 points.
Yeah, the old timers look at that and go, back in the offense, back in the old days, that's an offensive foul because he's just bigger and stronger than Asher Endorf, so he backed him down. Endorf made a beautiful play, but then it cost him. He blocked the shot, so instead of 2, it ends up being 3 because he gets the offensive putback and N1.
Stick around for your halftime show, brought to you by Columbus Community Hospital, where your health is their top priority. And the first T-Bird into double figures is Robbie Garcia. Averages 15 per game, does the 6'6" junior. Lee, threads the needle. Johnson falls away, and it rolls in.
Carter Lee with a beautiful assist there. Pull up deep 3, and they get you by 1. Bellevue West from way downtown. Bang again. Kearney's not going to waste any time. Oh, there was a foul that wasn't called.
Jaden Jackson, unlimited range. Now he employs the shot fake. Defense doesn't fall for it. Lee with the deflection. Now Garcia, cash. Oh, Robbie Garcia, what a half of basketball for the junior.
And again, Kearney had the ball with a chance to tie. Now you look up, and it's another big run, the third one of the game by the T-Birds, and they're up by 10. Just domino effect. One goes, two goes, three goes. So many weapons out there for the Thunderbirds.
They can score from every position and at all three levels. Endorf creates, and that was pure.
Think about teams like the T-Birds, like Millard North, like Omaha West Side. When they go on these runs, they can separate in a minute, and it takes a team like Kearney 3 or 4 minutes to steadily claw back and try and catch up. And it looks like the shot clock is almost simultaneous, so they can play for the last shot.
Turner
pick and roll
with the basketball. Garcia's been the man. Not this time. And Weber secures the rebound. Launches from three-quarter court and nearly banked it in. What an entertaining first half of basketball. Bellevue West built a big lead. Kearney High fought back. But it's the T-Birds in front, heading to halftime. We have highlights, look at the rankings, and some thoughts before the third quarter next on NCN.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams. Financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
Exciting boys high school basketball on News Channel Nebraska. Glad you could be with us. Michael Shively, Doug Duda, Danny Alvarado, our director this afternoon. Entertaining first half. No surprise to see both teams get into the 30s. That means we have a lot of highlights to show you. Your halftime highlights sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. Bellevue West gets off to the hot start. They led 10-2. How about Jaden Jackson from a mile away?
Fire him that far, you give him his due. Tippy Cap say, keep it up. If you can make him outside, we're going to have to change things up.
Jacob Weber, he is a pure scorer and doing it from more than just the three-point line today. Asher Endorf has been a difference maker this half as well for the Bearcats.
Well, you got to play good defense. Got to get scoring from outside of the top three. We talked about the big three for both teams. Both teams have had another guy step up and find some points here.
Good,
but every time Bell West
shooting.
needs a three, they get one.
Isaiah McMorris did the honors there, but Garcia really took over the last few minutes of the half. That time just sized up Johnson, sank the jumper. How about this pass from, are we going to see the crossover? That was terrific crossover for Ben Johnson. You can't tell on the screen. He's 6'4" and 6'5" actually. Not sure exactly what the weight is for Ben Johnson, but he's 200 plus, and to move like he does, impressive. Garcia just unconscious there in quarter number 2.
Yeah, he was the man that extended this lead and then kept this lead, hit a big one late in the quarter, and Kearney has come back from an 8-point deficit twice, and they're going to have to do it again. They're down 3 here at half. But give credit to Bellevue West. They've actually missed some bunnies inside, or this could be 12, 14, 16-point game. I know Rope had a couple that rattled in and out for him, and they've looked pretty good with their top 7.
It's the Thunderbirds, the number 1 team in the state, ahead of the Bearcats here in Kearney. More halftime next.
The Halftime Report on NCN is sponsored by Columbus Community Hospital, where your health matters.
Well, the half-court shots not leading to a giant check presentation today, but some good fun here at Kearney High School, where the Bearcats trail Bellevue West 39-31 at half. Michael Shively, Doug Duda with you. We mentioned it earlier in the game, but Drake Baranek, the head coach for Kearney High, his father Paul Baranek, a legend, former head coach at Ravenna High School, coached all three of his boys there, passed away from cancer, and he posthumously was awarded with a legacy award, the John Wooden Legacy Award. That was earlier this month. NCN was able to catch up with Coach Baranek, Drake Baranek, right after the presentation.
It's huge for our family. With his passing, we've got to deal and cope with different things, and so to be able to have his legacy and his impact on others still with us today is something that's a pretty cool deal. Well, first of all, he was a really good teacher, and he touched a lot of people's lives with the way that he taught art. The impact he had on Ravenna, I hope it's deep, and I hope a lot of people learn from him, and I think they did. And so it was a lot of fun growing up here and seeing what everybody from town does. He was definitely a find the positive guy, and in a world full of negative, it's really easy to get into a negative outlook on life, and it was ingrained in us to try to find the best that was in whatever situation that we were in. In a world that's more busy than ever, take the time to be with the people that you love and make sure that they know that you love them. He had a competitive spirit, but it was done in a way that was very loving and people respected, and I think that is something that I'm really proud of him for. It's pretty cool to be able to see that and have another good memory of our father with this community.
So that was Drake Baranek. If you want to see what he said addressing the whole crowd at Ravenna after the presentation of the John Wooden Legacy Award to his family, you can visit newschannelnebraska.com, search Baranek. You'll be able to track that down. A great family, and Drake at the head of it right now. His younger brother Connor, an assistant coach for the Bearcats, so they're keeping it in the family. Bellevue West is coming on the road to Kearney High, and they're taking it to the Bearcats at least offensively with the 39-31 lead. We'll have the start of the third quarter next on NCN.
From the moment you realized you needed ongoing care, to the long conversations with loved ones and the scare of having to leave the home you've lived in for so many years, to the moment you realized you didn't have to meeting your caregiver for the first time and those initial fears turning into new friendships, to the moment you felt more supported than you have in a really long time.
Thank you.
We've been here for you, just around the corner. Columbus Community Hospital.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams, financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
Getting ready for the start of quarter number 3 here on News Channel Nebraska. Michael Shively, Doug Duda. Fun first half of basketball, but looking at the point distribution, we expect most of the scoring for Kearney to come from Weber, Endorf, Johnson. But so far, all of the scoring, all 31 points from those three.
Yeah, you got to find somebody else to step up and get the job done. And I was talking about that earlier and didn't realize that we were that close to what you have out there. But Carter Lee's been dishing the ball. Cole Strock has been playing some defense. They just haven't went to the bench. Keep an eye on that. Can they keep the stamina after playing last night? through 4 quarters against the number 1 team in the state. It's not like Bellevue West has used a lot of their bench, but Kearney's basically used none of it. Piper was in there for a handful of seconds.
Right.
Kind of thought maybe we'd see Turner Bertrand in there to give them some, but they're not in foul trouble either. So Coach Baronic weighing that to the factor as well.
That's a great point. We haven't seen Bertrand, who gets good minutes, a 6'7" junior. If you need some boost on the boards, he might get the nod. But right now, with the pace of play, opting for to leave Bertrand on the bench are the Bearcats. Bellevue West really balanced. 6 scorers, 2 in double figures, Jackson and Garcia. The Bearcats looking to cut into the deficit to start the 3rd quarter. Down by 8, which equals the biggest lead of the game for the T-Birds.
T-Birds are playing man, but they're really giving a lot of cushion, too.
Endorf gets Cassio Jensen to bail out. Turns around and hits the J.
Cassio Jensen having a debate there with the official saying, hey, man, you shove it off. There's a contact both ways. Might have been, but they haven't been calling at all, so they're going to let that one go. And you see it there 3 times into Johnson, but can't finish. Just lower the shoulder, bump, bump, bump.
Coach Steve Klein opting to feed the guy that got you the lead. That's Garcia. They open up the 3rd quarter with him, but he can't finish. Now Johnson sizes him up. Carter Lee, we mentioned his passing. Want to give a congratulations to him. Just committed to Fort Hays State, the MIAA of Division II for college football.
Shot clock winded down.
Johnson sinks it, nothing but net. An in-rhythm triple to beat the buzzer.
One more to wake the crowd up from halftime here. That wasn't quite enough, but the 8-point lead down to 3. This is where West usually immediately responds. Let's see what they got cooked up here for Turner.
Jackson from near the logo, off the mark.
Again, so exciting when they go. So why'd you take that shot when they don't? But they've hit some from out there, so I don't think Coach Klein's too worried about it.
Yeah, you're going to let Jaden Jackson, averaging 17 points, 4 assists per game. Let him launch those. He's going to pay it off eventually. Endorf keeping that pivot foot. Couldn't get the bucket. Tries to pick the pocket of Jackson. In the lane, good shot fake, and it rolls around and down for Eldon Turner. Turner, a fantastic athlete. I've really been impressed with him in this game.
Yeah, that's 2 bad shots in a row by Kearney. And just when they get back in the ball game. Now, the Thunderbirds have had 2 good shots. Let's see what they do here with Polacek.
Kicks out to Cassio Jensen. He is yet to score, coming off one of his best games. Actually, not one of his best games of the year. That was against Creighton Prep, a victory on Thursday. He was 8 for 10 from 3. 0 for 2 today.
It all evens out.
8 for 10. I've never done that with nobody guarding me.
Yeah.
Jacob Weber has. Not that time, though. Here's Polacek from downtown. Yes. His 2nd of the game.
So Bellevue West using their defense, those last 3 trips down the floor, all tough, contested, empty shots for Kearney. And then they get back-to-back buckets to get rid of the 3-point lead, get it back up to 8.
Johnson, shot fake, behind the back, blows the layup. What a move. There's no payoff. Now Endorf throws it away after getting the steal. Well, the Bearcats a little sped up, perhaps, after getting the first 5 points, cutting it to a 1-possession game to start the half.
I think that would have been their first transition bucket, would have, Michael? I mean, Bellevue West is so good at getting back and playing defense.
Well, I don't know. Those might have been, so there's some of the first turnovers. I might have missed some there in the first half, but neither side close to 5 turnovers. It's been a well-played game. Cassio Jensen, defense nowhere to be found. His first 2.
7 in a row. Back to 10.
Straka to the rack against McMorris.
Kearney's not finishing. Bellevue West is. That's the difference here in the last 2 minutes, Michael.
McMorris was moving a little quick there, able to bail it out. Now Turner drains the tray, and Drake Baronic keeping him out there, not calling the timeout. Oh, there it is. An 11-0 run in your third quarter. Your third quarter presented by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of pain, not just the symptoms. A game-high 13-point lead for Bellevue West on the Midway CDJ scoreboard.
The first time I ever took prescription opioids is when I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I think I was 16 years old. I must have gotten a 30-day script. I took them all in 3 days. I was stealing from people, buying substances on the street. I look back at that time with a lot of shame. That's not who I am. Opioid use disorder is not a moral failing.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Look at Bellevue West, just littered with college basketball players and college athletes. You see big number 1 there, Jacob Arope. He's committed to play football at the University of South Dakota at the FCS level. Eldon Turner just hit a 3-ball before that timeout. He'll be playing his college basketball at Wayne State. Jaden Jackson, top scorer on the year for the T-Birds. He's going to South Dakota State. There have been some good Nebraskans that have gone there lately.
No doubt about it. They've done a great job.
Jacob Weber, you got to get a hand up against him.
Much needed bucket, whether it was from downtown or not. But Bellevue West does what Bellevue West does. They hustle back, but they missed a bunny.
Now here's Lee. Hits the deck and able to roll it back to Johnson. Johnson out of control. Here's Jaden Jackson. Stripped. And it was clean. Lee gets the hand in there to deny Jackson the chance for an easy lay-in.
Man, what a play. Defense on both ends denying what could have been 2 layups, and definitely no complaining either from Jackson.
Arope again can't finish inside. That has been what has kept Kearney in this game. Arope has missed a few right at the hoop. Johnson in trouble. Let me get rid of it. Weber wants 3 more.
That went off the shot clock, so that'll be out of bounds. Weber has hit, I mentioned it earlier, but twice this year, 9 3-pointers in a game. But against very subpar teams that have only had 2 or 3 wins, he's trying to have that hot game against a team like this, one of the top 10 teams that they've played. Again, for Kearney, a couple of losses against really good teams in Millard North, the only team to beat Bellevue West, and Omaha West Side. The other one came in the semifinals of the HAC tournament to the eventual champs.
That was Lincoln Southeast. The Knights getting the better of the Cats. Now the T-Birds have been flashing their offense all game. Arope from downtown drains it. Jacob Arope hits his 3rd 3-pointer of the season. And it extends the lead to 13 for the T-Birds. Didn't know he had that skill, did you?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I just thought he's a paint guy.
Endorf, what a back cut. Straka found him.
Carter Lee, more defense, ends up in the Bellevue West bench, trying to deny the outlet pass to McMorris.
Today's broadcast brought to you in part by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com. Oh, and Straka
with the hold on the inbounds there against Turner. course, we've talked about Paul and Drake Baronic. Let's not overlook Connor Baronic, his youngest brother, the younger of the three, has been an assistant, was a head coach over at Wood River, got his family started, moved back here to be an assistant for a second time.
Fun dynamic between those brothers, especially at practice. Connor, just like Drake, star at UNK. Drake did go on to be a Husker briefly after that foul on a rope. That's number 3 on Jacob Arope.
I think he's about ready to check out of the ballgame here. And that is the case. Coming back in will be Jaden Jackson. You would think two totally different players. You wouldn't expect them to switch off. But both have hit pretty deep threes in the game.
Garcia will be manning the post now with a rope out. And Endorf gets able to leak out to the hoop. And Asher Endorf now has 14. Here's Turner in the lane. Had his shot altered by Straka. Johnson rips down the rebound.
Coach Klein wanted the foul. You see he got whacked on the elbow.
Weber wanted that shot. Wasn't open for it. Good defense. And now Jackson whistled for his first. Just the second team foul this quarter.
Let's see if we can see that one again here, because I think I see what Jaden was saying. He was able to come off a screen, but he ran into his own player. Now, I don't know if that bumped him off balance, but I think that's what he was saying. He's going, I hit my own guy, not the Kearney guy.
Bellevue West has finished each quarter strong, getting buckets in the final minute. If they do that here, it's going to make the Bearcats have to climb out of an even bigger deficit in the fourth.
Big
Johnson
shot
for 3. Endorf with the rebound. Asher Endorf keeping the Bearcats alive with his hustle.
Again, you got to figure the next run is going to determine the game. Either the Thunderbirds finally run away and put this away, or Kearney makes another run from 8 to 10 down and makes it a game over the last 3 minutes.
Weber pulls the trigger. Splash! The sophomore connects. About a 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And Garcia at the hoop, his first bucket of the quarter.
Officials determining that was an Oscar-worthy flop by Ben Johnson. And Kearney will be able to hold for the last shot. That's what Drake Bronick tells Ben Johnson. Well played by Garcia, though. He didn't panic after the flop.
Johnson pulls up for 3, rattles out. Still some time for Jackson and Bellevue West, and he's fouled. Endorf, and it's a flagrant foul. The intentional foul.
Endorf is thinking with the new rule that a foul there doesn't hurt. He can't get a good shot off. They'll have to take the ball in bounds with 1 second to go. But instead, the official determines that he grabbed him, and he did. He did grab him. So now 2 free throws and the basketball with a second to go. So a couple of calls that didn't go Kearney's way here on these last 2 possessions. Not pleasing the Bearcats.
Oh, and it falls. If they say the ball doesn't lie, that tells the story there. How that one had a magnet to fall back into the hoop. Jackson's first point. This game brought to you in part by Zollner Ford Lincoln.
So he hits both of them. Now they've got a chance at another one. And they're going to bring Cassio Jensen back in. Boy, 5 points in the last 1.3. How could that change?
It's Jaden Jackson, blocked by Weber. And that gets the Bearcats fans fired up. But they're down double figures. Bellevue West once again finishes a quarter strong. The number 1 team leading heading to the fourth.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil, your first and last stop to and from the game. By USafe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Well, here's Jackson blocked. Now watch, he catches it and actually makes it, but with only 1.3. Obviously, it was after the buzzer. Good job by Weber fighting out the screen, but Bellevue West, the last 4 points there in the quarter, didn't get that 3 to count. Now they get the ball to start the fourth quarter of play. So, like you said, big plays at the end of each quarter for the T-Birds. I think Kearney's also going to get a little more physical here in the fourth quarter. Not that that's going to pan out because they shoot pretty good from the free throw line.
Coming around an off-ball screen, Jackson misses the 3. Johnson with the board, and that's the first thing that Kearney High has to do. They need to get stops. Got one there. Now Endorf against Cascio. Jensen gets the whistle. Endorf to the line to shoot a pair.
Creates some space himself. That's been let go most all game long on both sides.
I think it's been a consistent whistle here this evening. Endorf, a rare miss. 82% at the line. He was 10 for 10 last night at the free throw line against Lincoln North Star. And just missed 2.
Well, we talked about it at halftime, Michael. The 5 have stayed in there the whole time. How much is left in the legs after playing last night? At least Bellevue West had last night off.
They did play Thursday against Creighton Prep, but got the legs back yesterday. And this time, Cascio Jensen not going to protest this one as aggressively. His 3rd foul. And Endorf goes back to the line. A chance for some redemption.
Now just got to take a deep breath and try to find a way to answer the last time he was there.
The Bearcats, they've had some excellent transfers. Endorf is one of them. He transferred in last year from North Bend Central. His dad getting a school district job. And then Jacob Weber coming in this year, the sophomore from Arizona. His dad is a skills coach for basketball. He played at UNK, so family ties to Kearney. They come back to Kearney, and he's filling it up in his 10th grade year. Which read?
So 1 out of 2 there. First points of the fourth quarter with the Thunderbirds. Not only the number 1, you're trying to hang with the number 1, you got to raise a 10-point deficit, and they're trying to put this away. Turner, is he the guy that could be like Muhammad Ali, turn the lights off and be in bed before it goes dark? Because he's that quick, man. He is quick. Weber's going to get called for the reach in there on Polacek.
Foul on Endorf is his 3rd. This is your fourth quarter, which is brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at Lincoln.org. And another whistle. That's before the shot.
Johnson bit for the fake on Robbie Garcia and just tried to body him like they've been doing all game long, but gave him a little extra.
So 2 quick team fouls. Again, must get to 5 in the quarter for free throws. Weber nearly committed a reach in there.
Good switch on the screen by the Bearcats, but it gives an advantage here to Jackson, and he takes advantage and scores.
Jaden Jackson with a quiet 14 and an 11-point lead. It's been as large as 13 for the T-Birds. Never trailed. Ben Johnson behind the back, gets the defense in the air and finishes.
Kearney sure hasn't tried to just flat post up much here in the second half. Clear it out, get some one-on-ones, back cuts, a lot of back cuts, run off the screen.
Kicked basketball will reset. Well, Steve Klein, the head coach for Bellevue West, quite familiar with seeing Ben Johnson do what he just did. Klein coaches Johnson in AAU ball in the offseason. Had lots of praise for not just Johnson's play, but his character as well. Turner against Straka. Nearly got it to fall in a rope. Falls to the courts. Never had control is what the officials say. Now on the scramble, Jackson to the cup. Finishes with the left.
Timeout going to be called by Bellevue West. What a finish there. Had the defender, knew to keep that ball far out in his left hand so there wouldn't be the contact. And once again, pretty good defense, pretty good run, but an offensive board and points for the Thunderbirds.
It's an 11-point lead for Bellevue West here in Kearney. The Bearcats have 5:50 to try to erase that, and that's a tall task because you have to get stops. And with scoring coming from all over the courts, it's just tough to slow down the T-Birds.
And what will happen eventually is Kearney will have to shoot some threes, or in their mind they will think they will have to shoot some threes. So you got to watch it. You don't start forcing shots. Made twos are better than missed threes, and sometimes that's hard to remember.
Bellevue West coming off a loss earlier in the season. Mentioned this in the pregame, but fell to Millard North in the third game of the year. Lost by 11 on December 7th. And it was a shocking moment because many of these players had never lost in their varsity career. They went undefeated a season ago. And it was an eye-opener, according to Coach Klein. He said it made the team refocus. They hadn't had to fight adversity. Now they're practicing harder. He said once you get it figured out. Ben Johnson with the slam. Finally got free. Got some fireworks. Maybe that can get the crowd into it and some momentum for the Bearcats.
Got to get a stop. Just like you said, though, feed off. And we've had many runs in this game. Can that be the start of one to get Kearney back into it?
Coach Klein telling me, he said, once you think you have the game figured out, it humbles you. That's what happened against Millard North. And now a turnover, a rare turnover for the T-Birds, giving some life to Kearney High. We look forward to talking to the winning coach after this game. Your coach's post-game interview brought to you by Sarpy County Tourism.
Defense of Bellevue West. We talk about offense. How good's their D?
Weber, he makes that more often than not. Colt Straka, the first player not named Weber and/or for Johnson to score for Kearney High.
A rope tried to tip that out to a teammate, and Kearney stepped in and saved it. Nice move, but can't finish. Another offensive rebound, a foul before the shot. It's a killer on the offensive board there. Beautiful offensive rebound by Eldon Turner.
So impressed by his athleticism this evening. Now Garcia will come in for a rope. Today's broadcast brought to you by Zollner Ford Lincoln. Here's Jackson, back iron. Collision, loose basketball, saved inbounds by McMorris, right to Garcia.
McMorris with two plays that time to save the ball.
Straka out of control, gets the whistle.
That was one time Bellevue West. You can't blame them for not getting back. They were trying to save the ball down here and getting the two.
Just the first foul on Garcia.
A couple more scores for you, Michael, from conference tournaments and teams you've seen. The Grand Island Central Catholic girls beat Lincoln Christian to win Centennial 44-42.
Wow.
Minden is up 20 on Gothenburg to win the Southwest, and Adams Central girls beat Seward to win the Central 44-40.
And GICC avenges an earlier loss to Lincoln Christian. Good free throw shooting by Straka. Makes that second one. Stays with Bellevue West.
Straka knocked it away. That's one where maybe a more inexperienced ref would have called the foul, but instead he just says, I'm not going to call the foul, but I am going to keep the ball with Bellevue West.
With some daylight to the left side, Polacek had Weber leaning, then exploded. He has a quick first step too.
Great play by Steven. And the Thunderbirds just keeping that arm's distance lead here, keeping it between 6 and 10.
Their offense is just too good. You can't come back because you can't stop them. Weber for three. He's gone cold in the fourth quarter. You wonder about those legs. And a push called against Johnson. That's the fourth team foul on the Bearcats. Just the second on Johnson, but the next foul by Kearney High puts Bellevue West at the line.
Well, they're trying so hard to keep the ball out of Turner's hands. Strock will guard him out of bounds. He doesn't care, but they find a way to keep Turner open, and he's been running the show for the T-Birds.
Polacek again finds some daylight, but it's erased. You can't teach length, and Jacob Weber has a whole lot of that.
But in the end, it's still T-Bird basketball. For the way the game's been called, it looked pretty good. Coach Klein wanted the foul, but Coach always wants the foul, don't they? Drake's been asking for it on his end. Yeah.
5 seconds for Jackson to work with. Finds himself wide open, but was off balance on the shot. Weber doesn't have numbers. Gets the whistle against McMorris. And that's team foul number 4 on Bellevue West. So free throws on both sides the rest of the way. Weber was off balance there. He got lucky that McMorris landed on top of him, because that could very easily have wound up as a Kearney High turnover.
And you can sure see the fatigue down there on a number of faces, hands on the hips, bent over, both teams. Got to find that last gas here for the final 3 minutes.
Weber has missed his last 2 from distance. Now tries the contested 2. Polacek was all over him.
Now, how much of the clock will Bell West use? Their girls weren't quite as efficient eating the clock. See what the guys do here.
Backdoor cut. McMorris looked a little awkward, but it counts just the same. Found his way to the right hand.
Great pass down low. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Look for nothing but the layup. Defense is really getting out on you. It spreads the floor a little bit, opens up some of those passing lanes, and that's what number 1 teams do. They make you pay.
Couple of tries here at the line for Carter Lee, who's been quiet today. Lee, just 17 free throw tries on this season. He's made 13. Sinks it. Bearcats running out of time, just 2:23. Bellevue West impressing on the road. Kearney High, they might either start thinking about fouling soon, or we'll see.
The Rowdies always seem to get the opposing team to at least say something to them at one point in the game, and Robbie Garcia had a little smile for him down low.
The girls team was doing some chants back and forth with the middle school Kearney High players a moment ago. Garcia, oh, he drains it. He says good night to the Rowdies.
He's got the hammer. He's pounding the nail. It's almost over here. Again, a great, valiant effort, but number 1 is number 1, and they're showing it here on the road. Even had a couple of droughts. Really dry at the end of that first quarter. Had a couple of droughts in this game, and still going to put up 70-plus points here tonight.
Johnson, the hammer slam, two-fisted jam.
Bearcats only have 2 timeouts left, so didn't burn one there.
Even if the Bearcats lose, I know for sure we're getting a couple of Johnson highlights into that highlight reel.
And
stopping play. Drake Baronic was all the way on the
maybe.
Yeah, coach for the Bearcats was all the way on the opposite side of the court, getting action to stop. And Ben Johnson came up lame after that dunk. He immediately grabbed at his leg. He was able to jog around some, but he's going to get a swig of water here. He landed and something didn't feel right in the leg. He has not
Maybe
left
if we can
the
get a
course.
replay here on the dunk, we'll know how much time it is. It's hard for the officials to know. Nobody's quite sure where the shot clock could be.
Right.
All right,
So
let's
we'll
watch
see.
a replay of that dunk.
Ben Johnson passes it off, and the defense falls asleep. He can rock the rim. There's 1:37 on the game clock. We cannot see the shot clock there.
But it would have started at 35 right there. At 1:36, we're down to one. Well, now they're running both clocks. The clocks were at 1:11, so that's 25. We should be down to 10 or 11 on the shot clock based on that. But let's just see what the officials do. This will be one of the rare occasions they can come over and look if they want to, but they don't have that capability down at the scores table. They're actually putting more time on the game clock right now.
Three officials conversing with Steve Klein of Bellevue West, the first-year head coach, taking over for the legend Doug Woodard, who retired. Was under him for 11 seasons before that, 5 seasons as head coach of the Flatsmith girls basketball team. Him and Drake actually pretty good pals. Not this evening, no.
All right, things got settled down. Now we're down to 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Game clock at 1:14. And with an 11-point lead, Coach Klein probably not going to say too much.
Polacek sinks it. That's a tough runner. He still had 10 seconds on the shot clock, but it fell. And again, Bellevue West over 70. Ben Johnson is ridiculous. Timeout, Kearney. Ben Johnson, guard him when he crosses half court. Holy smokes. The jam, the three-pointer. Now the timeout. Final 53 seconds when we return.
From the moment you realized you needed ongoing care, to the long conversations with loved ones, and the scare of having to leave the home you've lived in for so many years, to the moment you realized you didn't have to meeting your caregiver for the first time, and those initial fears turning into new friendships, to the moment you felt more supported than you have in a really long time.
Thank you.
We've been here for you, just around the corner. Columbus Community Hospital. From the moment you realized you needed
NCN Sports is brought to you by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com. And by Nutrien. For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Bellevue West over 70 points. That's now something they've done in every game this season except for one, a 67-60 victory at Lincoln Pius. They're up to 71 tonight. Another impressive offensive showing for the #1 team in the state, who still needs to make a couple of plays to put away the Bearcats of Kearney High. The Bearcats not fouling. Tried to get a steal, and there's the foul. And that will about put it away, that they couldn't get the steal there. Four personal fouls on Colt Straka.
For Bellevue West, 2 rated teams coming up next. They return home. It's a week, though, next Friday, Lincoln Southeast, and then another week before they go to Omaha Central. And they are coming out for the Heartland Hoops Classic, where they will take on perennial power Sunrise Christian Academy. But Sunrise has kind of taken a major step back this year.
Really?
They just haven't had they didn't have the first month. They haven't checked the last couple of weeks, but they have struggled quite a bit so far this year.
Well, that's the featured team. You know, when you get, you know that you're going to be one of the best in the state if you get matched up with the out-of-state team at that event.
They expected them to be 1 or 2, and it's going to be another great Heartland Hoops Classic the second Saturday of February. Kearney doesn't get much easier. They go to Pius Tuesday, and a much improved Omaha Bryan team coming in next week.
Well, the Hoops Classic always so fun. Bellevue West has beaten some of those out-of-state teams those prep schools that specialize in basketball. They've beaten them before. Ben Johnson, 27 game-high points. Drake Baronic calls timeout here with just under 30 seconds to play. Glad you could be with us today. We had an entertaining girls game won by Bellevue West. Here on the boys' side, the Thunderbirds have never trailed, but the Bearcats have had some runs to make it interesting, and both sides have had to give their all today to get to this point.
Yeah, down by 8.5, scored the first 5 points, cut it to 3, but that's as close as they could get, and we've been playing right around that 10-point cushion for Bellevue West most of the last 12 minutes of this basketball game. They just pretty disciplined, but again, it's basically been 5-on-5. We've hardly seen any substitution. In fact, a rope hasn't been in a while, not that they've needed him here for the Thunderbirds.
Ian Piper got about 90 seconds of game action in the first half. Kearney has not subbed since then. The T-Birds have stuck to a rotation of 7. And there's a foul. And that's number 5 on Straka. So we will get to see another Bearcat. Piper comes back in. Now, Bellevue West this year, in addition to winning the Metro Conference, they also beat Totino Grace, a high-level Minnesota team. They beat Summit Christian Academy out of Missouri earlier this year. They beat Council Bluffs Abraham Lincoln. And later they'll try to add Kansas to that resume. That would be the fifth state counting Nebraska, where they would own wins if they got that done.
They had that opportunity to go down to Missouri, Kansas City, right before the holidays.
1 for 2 at the line for Turner, who has an impressive 8 points. And is he an athlete? You see why Wayne State wants him. Johnson puts it on the deck, loses it. Won't take away from his stellar game. Bearcats aren't going to foul here. Final couple of seconds. Johnson launches. And it's Bellevue West making the trip to the West. And the Thunderbirds win 74-63 over Kearney High. With the victory, they improve to 15-1 on the season.
And welcome back to Kearney High, everyone. A doubleheader sweep tonight for the Thunderbirds of Bellevue West, and we're joined by the head coach, Steve Klein. We say first-year head coach, but you've been around the program. You've been around some big games. You know Kearney High, you know Drake Baronic. What's it like coming out and playing a game here when you get outside the Metro, knowing that the fans just want to eat up the Metro?
Oh, I love it. It's great. Props to the Kearney people. This place was packed, and it was an awesome atmosphere. I wish we had these kind of atmospheres more often in the Metro, because it's so fun to come play in front of this, play in front of a ton of people. And obviously it helps when we play, fairly well and have some success. But props to the Kearney people. This place is awesome.
When you did get stagnant on offense, which wasn't very often because, again, over 70 for all but 1 games, but you're so quick, you can get 7-9 points in 45, 60 seconds, and you did that multiple times tonight.
Yeah, we did a good job of answering their runs. We kind of got ourselves a lead in the first quarter. They kind of came back, and then we got back out in front of them and came back. It was just kind of a battle back and forth, and we were able to finally in the fourth quarter kind of sustain that lead and keep them at bay, and did a good job of handling the basketball, even though in the fourth quarter we probably weren't as quick, but that's fine. We want to work a little bit of clock and did a good job of handling the ball and getting ourselves to the free throw line.
You got a couple of your bench guys in there in a rope and our future Husker, but it was a lot of 5-on-5 for most of this ball game. Talk about how that played out.
Well, it's hard because you get so many. Their 3 best players are so tough to guard, and Isaiah and Jacob do a fantastic job off the bench. CJ did a good job for his minutes coming off the bench, kind of giving us a little bit of a break. But I think it kind of wore on him because I don't think Ben Johnson I don't think Jacob came out of the game. And so I think in the fourth quarter it finally hit him. We were able to give our guys enough breaks, and that speed of the game really kind of caught up with him, I think, at the end.
Finally, Coach Klein, we're going to talk with our MVP here, but he's been doing it for you all year. Talk about Robbie.
I'm just really happy with the way he's playing right now. He's so tough. He's taken all the things that people have said, he can't do this, can't do that. And he's taken that with a grain of salt, and he's worked to get better every day. And he's a huge part of our program and our team. And I'm just so happy the fact that he works his butt off to get better every day. And he's really starting to take a leadership role on our team, which is really, really good because it's going to really pay off for us here towards the end of the season, I hope.
All right, Coach, keep it up. There's still some tough ones, but I'm sure we're going to see you down there at the state tournament. So keep it going.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Coach Klein will bring in the MVP of tonight's game, but kind of like the girls could have picked 2 or 3 of them. Robbie Garcia, congratulations. Good game tonight. Let me start with, what's it like for a Metro team to not be playing a Millard North or Omaha West Side when you come on the road and know that you're going to be tested?
Every game, it's just the same thing. Every team is very competitive, especially driving all the way out west, 3-hour drive, packed house with Kearney. I mean, we knew they were going to be a tough team to beat because they can hit a lot of shots, and we just knew we couldn't be stagnant, getting off the bus, just coming out ready to play.
Played a lot of minutes tonight. How was the fourth quarter and the legs and being able to just hold that lead?
I feel like all of us as a team are really well prepared for that. We do a lot of preseason conditioning stuff just to build our conditioning level just towards the end of the season where we're trying to get to in March.
Always a target on your back when you walk on the floor as the #1 team in the state. You guys have done that now for at least 2 complete years. How do you take that and keep it going and finish off like you did last year?
It's just every game we got to come and compete because every team just wants to beat us. Like you said, with the target on our back, we just know we got to play with the chip on our shoulder and come in every single game and just know that every team is trying to beat us and we're going to get every team's best shot when we come out to play.
Finally, Robbie, a lot of seniors. You're a junior. What have you gotten better at? What have you learned from these guys?
Leadership is a big thing that I've learned from all of these guys. They've had tons of experience playing in the program, and they've done a really good job with teaching me the ways and the ins and outs of the program. Just with when I came in as a freshman, even though they were sophomores, they were still just giving me tips and just helping me to grow my game in every way they could.
All right, great game tonight. Keep it up, and we'll see you at the state tournament, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you.
That is our MVP tonight for Bellevue West and Robbie Garcia. 22 points in the ball game as the Thunderbirds complete the sweep here tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Doug. Robbie Garcia, our player of the game. Bellevue West gets the win, 74-63. Let's see how it went down. Your top place. They're brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com. Also brought to you by Tom Dinsdale Auto, Grand Island's premier dealership. #1 Bellevue West, 14-1 on the road against 10-3 Kearney. And it's a hot start for Bellevue West. Jaden Jackson, look at how far away the star senior is. He drains it. He's going to South Dakota State for basketball. But the Bearcats, they're going to have the response. There's Asher Endorf with the lay-in. After that hot start, it was tied at 12. Final bucket of the quarter gave the separation to Bellevue West, 14-12. Nifty crossover. Ben Johnson, so athletic, finishes. Here he is again, falling away after a beautiful feed from Carter Lee. Back up to a 13-point Bellevue West lead. And Robbie Garcia fills it up. He drained 3 triples, had a team high in points. But it wasn't just him. That tray goes for Eldon Turner, who flashed a lot of skill tonight. The future Wayne State product. Jacob Weber hoping to shoot his team back into it. They cut it to single digits in the fourth quarter, but Jacob Arope and company not going to let the Bearcats get within shouting distance. Despite three-pointers like that from Jacob Weber, Bellevue West takes the lead heading to the fourth quarter and pulls away. Kearney High never gave up. They got a couple of slams from Ben Johnson, who finished with a game-high 27 points. This one coming into your living room. Ben Johnson with the two-handed slam, but Bellevue West able to finish it off. Here is Isaiah McMorris, the future Nebraska wide receiver, with the reverse layup, the finishing touches, and Bellevue West improves to 15-1 on the season with a hard-fought 11-point road win over Kearney High. Well, a couple of fun games here. 2 Bellevue West victories, impressive, both girls and the boys. Kearney High, you can't fault their fight, just a little bit less than what Bellevue West brought to the table. Both sides, Kearney's not going to be happy, but I think they fought hard and played well both games.
They just want to win one of these games.
Right.
And I think that's what makes them dangerous every time. Nobody wants to come out here and play in the districts. I know that. You don't want to be a bubble team and come out here and play in the districts because advantage goes to Kearney. That's what Kearney, especially on the boys' side, is trying to do. Find a way to be top 7 of the wild card points. And if you can beat one of these guys, and they're going to have a lot left on the schedule, but if you can get some of these wins over top 10 teams, it's going to help that out and give you a chance to get down to Lincoln, because Kearney is a scary team. They played well, but what if they all start going in? We've seen teams get hot, and they've had the capabilities to take it to the last minute. You never know what can happen, but that's why Bellevue is number 1. They made more plays today.
Well, this finishes out our phenomenal week of sports on News Channel Nebraska. We had the Omaha Supernovas on TV. We had the first ever girls state wrestling duels. Doug Duda was up there in Pierce yesterday. Now this matchup today. We thank everybody who tuned in for all of those broadcasts. Thanks to our sponsors who make it possible. Our phenomenal crew, tons of miles on the road. Today's crew led by our director, Danny Alvarado. On behalf of Doug Duda, I'm Michael Shifley. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your night.